So this is the final stage of this animation where we will polish the forearms and the hands. As we did before with the arm, I advise you to use the wrist tweaker controller to track the arcs. If we have a look to the final version of this run cycle, we can see that the forearm hits its extreme at frame 3 when moving back. This is the moment where the elbow is the most opened. Then when we were studying the reference, we have seen that as the elbow is reaching its extreme on frame 8, the forearm is bending inward to compensate. After frame 8, the elbow or arm starts to rotate forward, and the forearm is still closing until frame 11, and from frame 12 to frame 15, the forearm slightly open before closing again while it reaches its highest point. So as we watch the references, we understand that it's a little more complex than a simple follow-through animation. Forearm polished, we can now jump to the hands. Only play with the rotation channels of the hands. There is not that much to track regarding the hands. We could track one of the knuckle joints if we do want to track the arcs of the tip of the hands. In my case, I jumped back to the reference and I'm really focusing on Usain Bolt hand. You can see how it dives inward as if he was swimming. So my goal is not to have this level of exaggeration in this kind of swimming motion where he's really trying to pull himself forward. But again, it does show us that the hand is not only dragging back during the motion. So instead of showing you how I've pushed each controller in the graph editor, we'll have a look to the final result on the right. When the hand is moving forward, as it reaches the passing pose, it's relaxed, as it is dragging a bit. This is the time where the Z value is at its maximum. Then, as the arm reaches its extreme pose forward, the hand curves toward the head, and as the arm comes down, the hand drags a bit. So on frame 024, the hand is reaching its opposite extreme, where the thumb is getting closer to the forearm by rotating the wrist. Then the Z curve makes a quick bump on frame 3. This is where the hand is trying to reach backward to get this kind of swimming pose, as if the character was trying to pull himself forward. The wrist and forearm are almost aligned. And then, as the arm reaches its extreme on the back, the hand is curving forward as if it was compensating the movement of the elbow and gets ready to dive forward. So from the side view, mostly working on the Z quaternion rotation, we can see that it's a little more complex than a simple drag again. If we now have a closer look to the Y and X rotation curves, we can see they have a smoother and sinusoidal shape, because they will mainly influence the twisting of the wrist and its left to right motion. So they are mainly used to keep a nice shape of the wrist that doesn't look too broken. The hand is slightly more rotated inward around frame 14 during the passing, as if it was pointing toward the place it wants to be. So that's not super complicated when it comes to work from the front view. Just try not to have a too broken wrist. And if you have something to remember about this polishing, is that the hand is not necessarily dragging during a run cycle animation, which is a common mistake. From there, we will be able to mirror the motion of the left arm onto the right arm. So I've pressed Alt-H to unhide all the curves, and then I will select all the controllers of the left arm, the shoulder, arm, forearm, and hand controller we have polished. In the graph editor, press A to select all the curves, press Ctrl C to copy the curves, and then I will jump onto the other arm. Select the shoulder, arm, forearm, and hand controller. Select all the keys but the one on frame 0 and delete them. And then select all the keys on frame 0 and press Ctrl Shift V. to paste the mirrored animation. Then, as we did for the previous cycles, I will duplicate over the curve by pressing Shift D, X and 24 to offset them by 24 frames on the X-axis. Then I will press A to select everything, press G, X, -12 to offset them back by 12 frames. This way we have a 12 frames offset between the right arm and the left arm. Finally, I will move the playhead on frame 0, press I to insert a keyframe on all controllers, then select all the keys I've just written on frame 0, press V and set the handles to 3. I will then select them again, press Shift D and 24 to duplicate them on frame 24, and now I can get rid of any keyframes before and after frame 0 and frame 24, and our run cycle is finally done. In the next video, I will just share with you a few tips on how you can change a bit your run cycle with ease. As always, when it comes to art, you will have to make multiple run cycles until you get them right.